Happiness. What is it? Since the dawn of humankind, we as a species have been obsessed with obtaining and maintaining bliss. But like the fabled town of Brigadoon, happiness is impermanent, an elusive destination that, once arrived at, recedes into the ether. But in the late 19th century, two visionaries, sought to change that. This is their story. Claudius Ledoux grew up among the cotton farms of Mississippi. The son of a sharecropper, he ran away from the family plantation after his father brutally beat 2 slaves, killing one and permanently disfiguring the other. Cyrus Hobbs was a wanderer from a young age. While still just a boy, he traveled his way throughout America's West, taking odd jobs and searching for a place to belong. After 10 years of traveling, Cyrus found the beginnings of the community he was searching for, in a bar in Arkansas.
You see, that's just it. These hedonists were onto something. They knew that happiness and pleasure were something that was achievable, not just on occasion, but in the everyday.
I have to say I agree. Buy a drink?
With whose money?
Let's just say business has been good.
What kind of business would that be?
The business of business. I'm a bit of a grifter, but my work only affects crooked politicians and the greedy barons of industry.
Well, friend, take a seat. Let's talk.
And talk they did. As the night turned to morning, the two realized they were kindred spirits. Cyrus informed Claude of the land run in Oklahoma, and the two set out to begin building their dream. The dream that would become Pleasure Town. The duo enacted 2 simple rules: happiness, but not at the expense of your neighbor; ecstasy, but not at the expense of the town. Soon, word of the utopia in the dust spread, and it was only a matter of time until the sleepy settlement transformed into a bustling haven for drifters, artists, and outlaws. But it didn't take long for differences to arise between the two leaders.
We can't just fritter away our time in a drunken stupor. In order to achieve happiness, we must prepare for happiness.
Cyrus, you old stick in the mud, open your eyes. Happiness is always available, right here, right now.
The growing rift caused both founders to become despondent, with Cyrus retreating to the town library, and Claude retreating to the bottle. The divisions culminated in the Great Debate, in which Claude and Cyrus waged a war of words against one another to determine who should continue as Pleasure Town's sole leader.
Now my compatriot, old sad-eyed Cyrus over here, thinks that we should be breaking our back for our bread and thanking the good Lord when we get our crumbs. He thinks that temperance is a virtue, which I think is as silly as a mule riding a bicycle. Temperance is weak.
Futility is a sickening thing, friends. You find yourself on the constant verge of vomit. But I'm not here to complain. Nor does it seem I'm here to win. So why am I here? To apologize. I guess that's all there is left to do.
The town voted to elect Claude. But tragedy soon befell Pleasure Town. Known as the Day of Sorrow, an aggressive fire lit by an arsonist destroyed the western quarter of the settlement, displacing hundreds. The responsibility of maintaining order was too much for Claude, who took to drinking himself into a stupor. Meanwhile, Cyrus, now defeated, was a broken man who spent his time aimlessly wandering the tent town that had sprouted across the settlement's scorched earth. While no one really knows what happened to Cyrus, Claude, and the rest of Pleasure Town, historians believe some sort of disaster erased nearly all traces of the utopia. Was it an act of nature? An act of God? What we do know is Pleasuretown was a community like no other before and no other since. While only a blip on the timeline of history, the settlement made its mark, living on in song and story ever since its untimely demise. And it was all thanks to two dreamers who had the desire to tame the untamable, to capture lightning in a bottle and preserve it indefinitely for the benefit of all humankind.
You are my sunshine, only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I had